Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's November 2nd, 2019. Hi, Michelle. I just want to start off with that. If you're out there, Thaller, that is, born 1969, November 28th. Looks like we've got a birthday coming up. Happy belated birthday, shall we say. Anyway, Michelle, I noticed a video that you recently posted about flat Earth, and someone with such an extensive background as yours, I would think would give more solid answers than what you gave in the video. Um, or like for example, you mentioned that the Earth is round because when you look at the sky with a telescope, everything's round. So it's a no-brainer, right? Well, we think in the flat Earth community, the Earth is round. Yeah, we have no problem with that. But we are covered. I mean, we are surrounded with ice walls, and we're flat and we're stationary. But we are round. We have no problem with the scientists saying that at all. Um, what we do have a problem with is when the media portrays flat earthers as people that believe we live on a disk floating in space, because that's the whole thing. None of us believe that. That's ridiculous. They put that out there just to make us look like fools. Um, and you know that, Michelle. I'm sure you're aware of that, because we don't. As a matter of fact, space doesn't exist, um, and we're flat and stationary and covered with a dome. Now, there was a couple of other points that you brought up too, about the boat vanishing over the horizon, shall we say? That was an interesting one. You mentioned that we can actually see a boat if we go down to the beach, which I've been to several times, with a conventional pair of telescopes. You could actually see it disappear. You know, the, the bottom half goes away, and then the sail goes away, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Well, you see, the problem is in the flat Earth community, we have actually engaged in that experiment several times. There's hundreds of videos out there of it. And the thing is that even with something, the most powerful conventional camera on the market, which is the Nikon P1000, which is over $1,500 with all the special doodads if you want to include, but the camera itself is over $1,000. We can zoom in on a boat nearly 50 miles away. And according to the curvature map, which all flat earthers have at hand or can show on our phone, at 50 miles, anything, it would have to be more than 1,667 feet high in order for us to see it. But I don't believe any of the boats that we've ever zoomed in on are that big. As a matter of fact, I don't even think the tallest building in the world is that big. But yet we can still zoom in on it and we see everything. The problem is atmosphere, Michelle. That's the problem. You see, atmosphere is mainly most of water. And the further out you go, the less you can see. In fact, what happens is the boat turns upside down when you zoom in on it from an enormous amount of miles, like 50. That's actually what happens, but it's actually still there. So we have a problem with that. The company that you work for is either lying to us, and it's 100 times bigger than they have said it is, or we're flat, stationary, and we're not moving. Now, Michelle, you mentioned something about water, how water curves because of the pictures, obviously, that we've been presented through NASA. Um, you see, now that's where the problem arises, is because they aren't pictures. None of them are pictures. In fact, there's not one single picture of the Earth at all that I know of. And if I'm wrong, then show it to me. Because all the pictures that were presented with this blue marble are composites, and they're drawings. So where is this picture of Earth? I haven't seen a picture of Earth. Hey, Michelle, Can you answer one question for us that none of the scientists out there have been able to answer? Because you are a doctor, right? I believe that's your title, Dr. Michelle Thaller. How does a spacesuit work in zero gravity? Because we have that question. We've seen pictures of it. We've seen movies of it. Movies. Remember that word, movies. But we actually haven't seen it for our own eyes with somebody going into a vacuum chamber, flipping on the switch, and showing us what a spacesuit does in space. And how they could explain to us why air doesn't try to escape, because that's what air does in space, and the thing doesn't go up into a balloon. We've yet to see that. It's a simple question. It's a simple experiment. It's a simple project that any person out there in the scientific community should be able to prove to us. But nobody has. As a matter of fact, there's not a single scientist out there that has ever come up to any of us with degrees like yourself and debated any of us at all. It doesn't make any sense, does it? No. No, all we're presented with are actors and videos of lies. And that's it. Remember, this is for our children, for the generation right now that's growing up, and that are presented with pictures of the core of the earth, which is abominable because we haven't gone beyond 8 miles. It's taken us 30 years to get to 8 miles. And we gave up because we can't go any further down than that. But yet we're presented with nice, colorful pictures, by the way, too. And I don't know where that comes in. How could they even know what color anything is if we haven't gone beyond 8 miles? But yet we're presented with all these colorful picture books that our students are looking at, our children are looking at, and absorbing in their heads to continue the globe lie. There arises the problem, because none of this is facts. None of them are facts at all. Hey, Michelle, can you tell me about the radiation belt? Is it poisonous? Because you know astronauts. Obviously, you're an astronaut too, right? That's in your title. I haven't seen you up in space, though, but you might have been up there. Maybe I missed a video. Sorry if I did. Is the radiation belt poisonous? Can you die if you pass in the radiation belt? Because I think you can. Or it doesn't exist at all, for that matter. And the astronauts that are out there seem to be fine to me, because we've been going in and out of this radiation belt for many years. But yet we're told that it's poisonous. So we're confused on that in the flat earth community. We don't understand that. It's quite puzzling. But nobody's answered that question for us. So these are all questions. These are simple, everyday questions that nobody's come out and answered for us, except comics, paid actors that do shows and make us look like fools. We've never actually had, seriously, any scientist at all sit down with either one of us and proven that we live on a globe. With all the evidence that we have, it is evidence. That's the thing. You see, we can't prove in a court of law that we live on a globe. That's why we know it's flat. And nobody has been able to show us any other evidence at all whatsoever. Except mathematics, which are made up. No solid proof, no solid evidence. Everything is conclusive. The earth is flat, stationary, covered with a dome. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.